SAHM wife treats my job like a fun vacation. Edit. I appreciate all the feedback, there's been a lot of solid advice. I do think I should clarify that my wife hasn't always been this way. I keep seeing the, "you knew before you got married," and, "she's lazy, why would that change?" But we had several great years of marriage, and while my wife has always been a bad employee, she wasn't a negligible housemate until parenthood. I shouldn't have mentioned divorce because it seems a lot of people think that's the outcome I'm hoping for. I just realize that I can't keep living this way. My wife, 32, is a SAHM of our 2.5-year-old son. She has barely ever worked a full-time job since we've been together, dating 10 years, married 6, and when she's been a total nightmare at home. She used to work throwaway jobs, like fast food and box stores, where if she got upset she could just quit and find a similar job a few weeks later. But a few years ago she quit because her MLM side gig started outpacing her income at lower paying jobs, probably makes $25K per year. She now is able to work 2-3 days per week, and calling it work is being generous, as she basically watches TV the entire time. Me, 33, I'm an engineer and work a pretty stressful job. While my job has awesome benefits and I can make up my own schedule most weeks. I have never cared about her poor work ethic or lack of work goals, and have always told her I would let her be a SAHM when we had kids. The issue? I'm working my ass off and getting incredibly burned out at work, then I come home to, "Oh good. You're home and now you can deal with him, son. You'd had all day away, so it's your turn." I genuinely love spending time with my son, and he's honestly really well behaved. But I legit haven't done a single thing for myself since he's been born. I don't do any of my hobbies, working out, work on cars, play video games, play basketball, hang out with friends, etc. I genuinely can't remember the last time I had a guilt-free hour of free time. I understand being a SAHM isn't just a big fun fest the entire time, but I'm furious at being belittled for my stressful job. I'm stress-eating myself into a blimp, in all honesty, with no way of working it off. The bigger issue. I genuinely don't know what the fuck she does all day every day. She takes him to her older sister to babysit while she works 2 or 3 days per week, but her work genuinely could be done in 10 or so hours per week. She doesn't cook, she doesn't hardly clean, and doesn't do laundry. My entire existence is to literally work 8–10 hours, come home and either cook or go get takeout, then spend the rest of my energy with her and our son until I crash for bed. The weekends are spent cleaning up the house that was neglected all week, or doing stupid house projects that I couldn't care less about, and if I complain or don't give 100% effort, she will scream about how she does everything. I'm incredibly unhappy, but I love my family. I can't take much more of this, so I'm starting to wonder if divorce is my only way to fix this. I don't want to miss out on my son's early years, so I'm going to stick it out for a few years at least, but I'd prefer to fix my marriage issues. Does anyone have any similar experiences? Am I overlooking how hard it is to be a mom? Is there any way I can fix this shit show and have some form of a life outside of work, parenting? Try couples counseling. Then when that fails, as it must, because right now she has everything is just the way she likes it, and so she has no motivation to change, divorce. I used to be like this, exactly as you described. Now I don't want to imply anything, but I was depressed. It took a while for me to realize, and for my family too. By the time I figured it out, I was deep in it. I found no motivation to do anything. I was constantly exhausted taking care of my child and relied on my husband for absolutely everything. I have now learned to manage it, and the difference in me is astronomical. I never thought I had anything wrong, but now I realized being a SAHM was not for me, and it spiraled fast. All in all, having a good talk, however hard it may be, is the only way to go about it to try and figure out what is the issue. Marriage counseling is always a good idea when both of you can't communicate properly. Good luck. So you chose to date someone who was by every visible clue a lazy ass. No offense, but how the hell did you expect her to get better at this? She's found a sweet gig and she has absolutely no incentive to change the situation. You kinda made your own shitty bedman. You serious? You said your wife has been super lazy and worked crappy jobs her whole life, and all of a sudden now you're annoyed at her laziness? What took so long? I always wondered how that happens. Someone with a decent career ends up with an MLM or whatever the fuck kind of worker. This is why it never works out. You're in a no-win battle, young Jedi. Some moms feel is going to work as a break. No matter how we explain to them that is not a fucking break to go out in the world and earn a living, they feel the explanation is offensive, dismissive, mansplaining, etc. Oh, You're not allowed to ask for a break either, it's a one-way street. My advice: get a babysitter to hang out twice a week in the evenings, 3 hours a day, so you can have some your time before additional resentment occurs. Then get into marriage counseling so you can decipher why only her feelings matter and why yours are dismissed. Counseling. Failing or before that, sit down. Write down in detail what you two both do in the day, and come up with a mutually satisfactory schedule. Toddlers are absolute energy drains. I wouldn't blame her here, the burnout is real. Sadly, you're burnt out too. It sucks, but that's just facts. Have the little guy spend some time with you instead of you spending time with them. Have them watch you play a game, work on your car, meet up with the guys. Regardless, you and the wife need to have a talk about downtime. You both need rest and neither of you can shunt the workload onto each other. A little concerned with what my boyfriend said to me. Me and my boyfriend were having a conversation about my friend that just got cheated on. He told me that he's going to be completely honest with me, and he said that he would cheat on someone if it was with someone better looking than who he was with. But he also said I'm the most beautiful girl in the world, so I don't have to worry about that. I was and still am pissed at him for saying this. I told him this upset me and I am concerned by what he said, and he blew it off as a joke and him trying to look cool. That's not something to joke about though, and it actually was extremely hurtful. I don't know what to do about this now. I feel like he just completely broke my trust for him, and this caused me to check his location on Life 360 like all day. What a stupid thing to say. Your boyfriend is an ass. True colors have been shown, show him the door. You are the most beautiful to him today. But relationships last decades, and someday when you are pregnant and throwing up, is he the one who will stand beside you and hold your hair back? When you haven't showered in days because you had surgery, will he be tempted to cheat? Love is easy when things are good, but true love withstands a lot of hardship and loss. In sickness and in health means something, but maybe something different to him. Yeah, no. Leave him. Because he will find someone who has something you don't and cheat. When people show you who they are, trust that. Your boyfriend is an asshole. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Lol. Tell him the honest truth. You can't go past the fact he's a dishonest, awful person. I got tested positive for STI. Does that mean my boyfriend cheated on me? I don't know what to do. My boyfriend was my first boyfriend and first for everything. Last time he was with someone was 10 years ago. He swears he didn't cheat. But I never cheated on either. And this is why a sexual health check before a new partner, even if it's just oral sex, is important. Did he get tested before you started sleeping together? It's possible that he's been positive for whatever it is for 10 years with no symptoms. He's lying, he cheated. This is a conversation you need to be having with your HCP. They can counsel you as to whether it is possible that this was dormant or whatever for 10 years. Same thing happened to my friend. Turns out her boyfriend was fucking his coworker. It's definitely possible he could have gotten it before you and had it the entire time, because STIs are often asymptomatic, but it's much more likely that he cheated, unfortunately. Have him get tested because it could be a false positive. It does happen but very rare. Edit. Never mind, I see you have symptoms. If you didn't cheat, he did then. The incubation period for chlamydia is quite variable and may range from days to months after the initial exposure. The average time from exposure to the development of symptoms is usually about 1 to 3 weeks after sexual contact with an infected person. He has gotten it fairly recently. If you haven't cheated, he has. Yes. The simple answer is yes. Seriously, yes. It wasn't laying dormant, it came from the other chick he FCKED. I'm not trying to be mean, but come on. My girlfriend's cat is ruining our relationship and I don't know what to do. My girlfriend and I have been together for a few years now. We recently bought a house together and are prepping for the move. A great thing about owning your own house is you get to plan DIY projects and the house layout. We have 2 dogs and that cat. I had obviously met her cat at the beginning of our relationship. When we first moved in together, the cat became a cat from hell. At first we thought maybe it was because the car was around my dog. Maybe my dog had been terrorizing the cat when we weren't home. We never saw this behavior ourselves, and my dog was raised around cats so never had any problems. She decided to separate the car from the dogs by turning my individual loft space I used for a work project room into a room for the cat specifically. Because the car has problems with jumping onto things like counters and tables and scratching at everything despite having every cat toy in the world, I had to move all of my projects and workspace into a separate storage area. This is when I realized this cat was ruining my relationship with my girlfriend. I started to resent it. My girlfriend knows I need my own private space, as does she. We specifically get 3 bedrooms so that we both have our own individual space and then a space that we share. Now I had nothing. But this didn't stop the cat from continuing to destroy things. She ruined the carpet in the loft to the point we had to replace it as renters. She pissed on everything non-stop, and there's something about cat urine that just does not go away. We bought a house together. In our temporary living arrangement, the cat has its own floor and I don't have to see it most of the time. But this new house is different. I realized that this house that we both absolutely love and bought does not have a great place for this cat to go. I just don't know how to look and feel about this except for anger at the cat and my girlfriend. I don't want the cat able to roam the house, peeing, scratching, and shedding everywhere, but it's also not fair to feel that way about an animal I know. But it's so unfair. I don't want my house to reek like this cat. I don't want to come home and find the cat on my kitchen counter being disgusting. I don't want to see litter boxes everywhere because the cat decides to use everything as a toilet. This cat has single-handedly made me hate cats, which I adored before, and I find it disgusting and highly irritating. She just told me she expects to keep the cat in the room we decided to turn into our closet, meaning this cat will be around my clothes and shoes, and I got so upset that I just shut down. I don't know how to explain to her I don't want this without sounding selfish, but I have standards of cleanliness that this cat does not fit into. What do I do? Too long did not read. GF's cat has had massive behavioral issues, including peeing all over the house and on clothing. Cat has been separated to its own living space but is still acting out. We will be moving to a new house where having its own space isn't possible. I need to tell my girlfriend this is super frustrating for me and making me resent the cat. Edit. I want to note that it is not just our living area. When we have traveled, the cat has stayed with various family members, one of which is a huge cat person and buys everything under the sun for them, and she has behaved the same in everyone's house to the point where we haven't been able to travel for the last year or so because no one will watch it in their house or ours because of the behavior. Edit. There has been some great advice. Going forward, I plan to sit down with my girlfriend and offer a few solutions, including a behaviorist and medications. I plan to go into the transition into the new house with several action plans in place for the cat so that everyone is happy. Wish me and the cat luck. Ultimately, we just want everyone happy. Edit. Common questions or comments to answer: the cat is not in a closet or small room. Has 950 square feet to herself. She gets attention from my girlfriend, who now WFH with an average of probably 6 hours a day of attention. The cat has clean litter boxes, water fountains, and a special diet. The cat is also monitored as we set up a camera to figure out possible behavior connections. We have been to many vets. We have many toys. This has been ongoing for over 2 years and has taken thousands of dollars. We are not neglectful pet owners. We are trying. The issue is not linked to the dogs from what we have gathered. We also will not be killing the cat as some have suggested. Not trying to be condescending. Have you taken the cat to the vet? Those could be caused by something wrong with the cat other than it's just a jerk. So if medical issues have been ruled out, is your vet willing to consider medicating for behavioral issues? I had a cat with this issue. Medications did help make things more manageable. At some point, though, a conversation needs to happen about reasonable expectations. It's not wrong to not want to live in a home that reeks of cat piss. Sorry if I misunderstood the timeline, but have you moved the cat around a lot? Cats are creatures of habit, so you might have stressed them out. Fell away. Wow, I have a cat and this cat is like, wow. If you have a backyard in the new place, build a catio. It's like a big enclosed yard. The peeing. Does your girlfriend clean the litter box often? She should get several disposable litter boxes and put a lot of them in the places she is peeing. I think the peeing is related to the dogs. She is leaving the scent everywhere. You have to reintroduce the cat and the dogs. It's going to take a long time. Check out the Jackson Galaxy videos. The shedding. Your girlfriend has to brush the cat. Get Furminator brush. It takes a lot of hair, and she needs to do it constantly. I think it's all related to the poor handling of the cat-dog interaction, though. This cat is very stressed out. Get him some kitty Prozac. I think you should share your feelings, otherwise the resentment could ruin your relationship. There might be a number of compromises to consider. Keeping the cat on a leash, i.e. a wire across a specific room with a lead on it for the cat. Buying a robot vacuum and an air cleaning filter, getting professionals to train the cat. There are many options, but you first need to express your feelings. Otherwise you will end up exploding on your partner in a way you will regret and not really mean. Always honor your feelings and needs. It sounds like your fundamental needs are not being met. Good luck op, you got this. The cat's stressed from all the change. Seek a better vet and an animal behavioral specialist.